that if you watch a lot of porn, that this can really mess up your sexuality. Porn works like a drug to the mind. The more that you use it, the more you start to need it. And you probably start to develop a taste for more and more perverse material over time. A lot of people actually get erection problems because of this. Because you no longer enjoy the real thing. And even if you still can get it up, it is probably nowhere near as fun as the real thing would have been if you weren't addicted to porn.
Yo, 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 what up, YouTube? Welcome to Sinn-Take, man. My name is Jason, coming back with another one, man. And as y'all can see, I'm coming live from the Rose Garden, man. Take a look at it. Take a look at it, man. It's a little gloomy out, but guess what? The Most High done woke us up this morning, so let's take this opportunity to be great, man. Shout out to my bro. But real quick, man, in that clip, pretty much he's saying that pornography corrupts the mind, and it makes you more perverse. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to just be a man and have thoughts of having sex with a female. You know what I'm saying? But it's another when you see a female and all of a sudden you go from 0 to 60 and you thinking about doing some pornography shit. That's where it's corrupting your mind. All that sick shit that you see in porn with the choking, the throwing up, the gagging, and all that extra shit. Listen, your mind becomes that. So now you start looking at the females like an object. You look at them like the females that you see in pornography. And that's where that anxiety comes in, because you can't even, you didn't give yourself social anxiety. You can't even talk to a female because your mind all fucked up from that pornography. You know, you can't see her as a person. You know what I'm saying? So how you expect to even get into a relationship and get the real thing out here like we supposed to be getting if as soon as you see a female, you got that motherfucking, that social anxiety kick in, because that pornography got your mind in the gutter so fast. It got you thinking about doing the most perverse shit. It make you more perverse. You know what I'm saying? Where you can't even think about just having normal sex. You know what I'm saying? You just can't think about like the normal, regular motherfucker like us when we think about just smashing the chick. You know what I'm saying? Bending her over and smashing her from the back and just ripping her, you know what I mean? Ripping her guts out, digging her guts out like a real king would. Nah, you thinking about pornography shit. You know what I mean? You want to choke her and do all of that extra shit. You want her gagging and throwing up all over the place. You want to do all of that just crazy shit that you done seen online. It makes you more perverse. You know, and I don't need to go into detail about all of the sick shit that's in porn, but it corrupts the mind and it make you think that is normal. So you start viewing women as objects. You start viewing them like porn stars. And then guess what? You ain't gonna never get no female. That's where it's fucking a lot of men up, and that's why they think, and they sitting around gaining weight. They sitting around with anxiety. They social skills is gone out the window, so they can't talk to nobody, all because of porn. And people, man, they don't do all of that. Yes, it does. Some men indulge in it all the time, every day, 10 times a day, 20 times a day. And guess what? It's not doing nothing for them. It's just giving them more anxiety, making them more perverse, doing more corruption to their mind to where they don't want to talk to people. They don't want to be social with people. They can't, because they let pornography turn them into a vegetable. They could still function, but it's hard to keep their attention on one thing because they constantly thinking about it. They constantly want that dopamine hit, that dopamine rush that they get from pornography and releasing, you know. And then when it come time to get the real thing, they can't even do it. Then they got erectile dysfunction. Then they want to up the level and say that they need to do the extreme shit that they see in porn. You know what I'm saying? Like stuffing 10 dildos up a chick's ass and fucking her that way and all that other sick shit that pornography shows. And it's all out there online, which is even more crazy. That's why you want to keep this shit away from your kids. You see what the shit, and it's being normalized at that. It's so accessible that it's not even funny. So even for y'all that got children, man, make sure y'all putting those locks on these computers, these phones and all that shit. I know it's tough. It's tough, man, but you know, they steady pushing this shit. So it's probably a new website made every day, probably thousands of pornography websites made every day. But what y'all men gotta understand that it is making you more perverse. It's making you more perverse. You having more twisted thoughts. You can't even talk to a girl. How you supposed to get the real thing if your ass can't even sit there and talk to a female, if you can't even view her as a woman, as a lady, and have a conversation with her without your mind slipping into some dark, twisted shit that you done watched on your fucking laptop? You know, it makes it very hard. And guess what? All you doing is digging yourself into a deeper hole. You digging yourself into a deeper hole, into a deeper darkness, to where you go long enough, it's gonna be tough for you to get out of. You know, I don't know about y'all, but I want the real thing. I want the real flesh. If I'm gonna fucking choose to give up my energy, it's gonna be to the real thing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be having those sick, twisted ass thoughts while I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I don't care what y'all say, but nothing trumps real pussy. Nothing trumps real sex. Jacking off, listen, the hand ain't where it's at. Listen, the hand ain't where it's at. This will never feel like real pussy. It will never be as wet as real pussy. My hand will never provide the firmness of a real soft ass, real soft titties, a beautiful face, ever. So when you trick your mind into thinking that this is all of those things, guess what, player? You're playing yourself. You playing yourself, and you making yourself more twisted up here by thinking that that's the way. You know what I mean? A lot of us was doing this in relationships. Man, I'm sitting there jacking off in relationships. I'm doing it like I'm having real sex every night. I'm doing it like I'm having real sex every morning. You know what I'm saying? While I got a chick right in there with the real thing. So that's where my mind was getting fucked up at. That's where our minds get fucked up at. We don't try to even work on our relationship. We don't try to work on our relationship. We don't try to make sure that we on board and on the same motherfucking plane so we can understand each other, so we can make sure we got a healthy sex life. Nah, we like, fuck that bitch. I got porn. Fuck that bitch. I got motherfucking Bridget B. Fuck that bitch. I got motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, Jada Stevens. Fuck that bitch. I got motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, all this shit. And you ain't got nothing. You ain't hitting these bitches for real. You ain't hitting these bitches for real. And all of the dark shit that come with these hoes, you probably don't even want to, bro. You know what I'm saying? You getting that dark energy that got her started in that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So for real, I agree exactly with what he said. You know, it makes you more perverse. You know, like I said yesterday, and like he said in that clip, that is what caused you to have erectile dysfunction, because you smacking your shit all the time. And now you can't even do the real thing when it comes. When the real thing is in your face, that real pussy is right in your face, that real ass, all that real woman is right there. You can't even get your shit up because you done fapped away all your man shit and your energy, and now you can't even get blood to rush to where it's important. You can't even get blood in the area to handle your business like a man. Bro, I can't go. I had to stop this shit, man. Y'all gotta cut this shit out, man. Listen, you can't be a real king out here fapping all the time. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You know what I'm saying? It'd be one thing if it was just like, yo, this was just something that you just did because you got lonely, but it ain't something that you do all the time. Nah, we had real problems. A lot of us got real problems, man. We didn't have playlists. We didn't have subscriptions. You know what I mean? And all of that shit. And our minds just getting deeper and deeper into that shit, into that darkness, man. But it's not helping us in our reality. That's the thing. It's not helping us in our reality. It's like, damn, you know what? I'll actually, rather than have my mind caught up into pornography, right? The fake shit, my hand, I would actually rather have an overactive sex life for real. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all. You know what I mean? You got high value men that have an overactive sex life. They fucking everything in the book. They got shit. I ain't gonna even say that all of them got no control. They just got they pickings of the litter. You know what I'm saying? But for real, I would rather have it that way. than just be having my mind stuck in just using my hand and not even getting the real thing. I'd rather have a real overactive sex life, getting real pussy like a king, than just be sitting there using my hand staring at a screen. You make a choice. You make a choice. Work on yourself now and continue on this path. And listen, you got to understand this energy that you hold is real. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand the real dark energy into that pornography too. You don't want to be walking around with having, twisted ass thoughts and being a motherfucking pervert. You a creep. People can read that shit. People can feel that creep ass energy coming from you. You can't even stare. You can't even talk to a chick in her and look at her in her eyes, because she could see the creep in your eyes, because you just like, you know what I'm saying? She could see the creep in your ass. She could see you even trying to squint your eyes, right? A lot of motherfuckers try to hide it by squinting and shit. Listen, she could still see that creep in you. So we need to erase that shit all together, all right? And that's my word, man. My name Jason. It's Sinn-Take. Holla at y'all later, man. Peace. First I'ma get on my grind, then second stop wasting my time on shit less important. If ain't about money, I'm going the other direction. And third, I'ma do what I gotta to eat. Fourth, I'ma sew up the streets. Fifth, I'ma never quit dropping this heat. So as long as I'm breathing, you better get used to me. Sixth, I'ma get